really good. That was exciting.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Is that because we're 4-0, or is that because the Phillies are in the playoffs, or a combination of the two?
Or is it because the Flyers are starting?
No,
no.
We got a nice bag of animal crackers here. Jack and I are munching on, so that kind of livened my day up a little bit. Kind of put me in a good mood. So,
what kind of animal crackers are they?
The animal-y kind.
That's the right answer.
No, we're 4-0. Phillies are making the playoffs. I mean, at least that drought is over that everybody's going to talk about. Like, oh my God, 2011 or whatever. Like,
2008, bro.
2008?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, 2011.
Jack, do you know what I like a lot better than animal crackers?
What?
Mexican food.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is, but their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo burritos and tell them that 302 Birds sent you. God bless, go Birds.
Yeah. We just get our call in and out because he's old as shit. Sorry, Jack. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks El Diablo for sponsoring us. Really appreciate it. AJ, I hate you.
What the hell did I do?
You beat me first week.
Yeah. Yo, quick question. Who is the guy that was talking mad shit? Is that the guy I'm playing this week who's 1-3?
Arrow? Not Arrow.
No.
Matranga?
Yeah, he was drafted and he was like, bro, my team's the best in the league. You guys suck.
He has the worst record in the league now.
Yeah, he's 1-3. Team Matranga.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second anyway because your connection isn't that good. But anyway, what question did you have for us?
Me?
Yeah, you. The call-in.
Oh, shit. What was about Miles? Right? I'll say, how good has Miles Sanders been?
All I got was a mile. Who has? Anyway, I know what you asked. You asked because it's that family line. It's that bloodline. What do you guys think of Miles Sanders and how good he's been? Is it going to be sustainable throughout the year, or is this just a flash of greatness? 356 yards through 4 games, averaging 89 yards a game. Zeppelin Dorden.
Yeah, it's almost like I called this in the springtime when everybody wanted to trade him. That's all I have to say.
You said you hated Miles Sanders.
No, I didn't. I got in a fight with
Frank. You said he's disposable.
No. All running backs are disposable. I said we need to keep Miles Sanders, and I got in a fight with Frank. And then next week, Frank called back and was like, you know what? I thought long and hard, just like Josh. And like I agree with him. And I said, yeah, you're right. That's why me and Frank are boys. We're going to make out after the show. Yeah, Miles Sanders is good.
Hey, yo.
AJ, I have a question for you, man. Have you always only spoken in like onomatopoeias, or like is that just your natural voice?
What?
Right there. That's an onomatopoeia.
Hey, yo, relax.
Anyway, formulate a goddamn.
Relax. Chill. Do boop boop bop bow.
Anyway,
Miles Sanders is a GOAT, and I've always said that. Zep, I always told you he's a GOAT. Kenny G's a GOAT as well. I mean, our running game's pretty good this year. We got to keep it up. We got to stay healthy on the line. I know we suffered some injuries last week, but I think this is going to be another good year for a run game.
Saluch.
Sorry, I had to clean up with some Yankee slander on the IG Live. Slander against my Phils, I should say. Hey,
what did you control?
Anyway, Sanders though. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I was pissed at him in the first quarter. When I saw how that first quarter turned out, I was screaming that this was gonna be a bad day. I'd been in the rain. I was soaking wet at the game. Mrs. BPT, as Dutchie finally likes to say. But he turned it around. He had himself a big game. I think he's a great running back. He's a very good number 2 back. And this is what I think. He's not a true number. He can't Dutch, he's got to be able to like have a hard.
He has more rushing yards than Jonathan Taylor right now.
Yes.
Hold up, I have a question. I have a question for Saluch.
Yes.
You think Miles Sanders is better than Ezekiel Elliott?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And Ezekiel Elliott's been the number 1 running back for 4 years.
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, he has.
He hasn't been a top 5 running back in I would say at least 3 years.
Right,
and
but
Tom would
Derrick
probably
Henry,
agree.
first of all,
Right, but he's
I
been
already
the
can tell you right now,
RB1 on
Derrick
his
Henry
team,
2
though,
years ago, he had that unbelievable season. And he was better than Ezekiel Elliott. So you're already capped right there.
No, I'm just saying Zeke is the RB team though. He's done it for 4 years while being ass. That's what I'm saying. If you're saying Sanders can't be an RB1, but Ezekiel Elliott has been an RB better than Ezekiel Elliott.
Pollard was better than him last year.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do want to thank AJ for coming on just because everything's half breaking out and in just because of the connection. But I do appreciate you for coming on, and I do agree with you. Miles Sanders is a hell of a lot better of a running back than Zeke. Thank you. Can't hear him if he's saying anything. Anyways.
God. I love that. That kid is so that. Oh, I just want to wrap that kid up.
Time for Phillies talk with Ballpark Tommy. Finger stitch.
First off, I do want to thank Chalkboard for sponsoring this segment. If you guys haven't, joined the Chalkboard. The link is in the bio. We get paid for that. And if you guys haven't, I mean, there's not a better time to buy your Ballpark Tommy tees than now. I mean, look at this graphic. Look at that handsome young stallion. Do you know that guy, Tom?
Are we allowed to have that up there?
Looks like 7th grade me.
Yeah, Jesus, Tom. How old were you there?
That's very precise. 7th grade.
I was like 12 or 13.
It was like I was 11 and 8 months in that picture, Dutch.
I was 13.
8 days.
11 years ago.
8 hours, 13 seconds.
So, but it's over, Dutch. It's over. The drought's over. Oh my God, it's over. It's so good.
Yeah, but it's football season.
You sound like you just finished an ice cream right there. It's over. It's so good. It's over.
Oh my God. It's like the sweet taste of a nice frosty beer while sitting on the beach and just down them with the boys. It's that good of a feeling, Dutch. We had to endure the likes of like guys like Eric Kratz, Michael Martinez, Cody Ashe, Ken 100 Miles Giles. But you know what? It's all over. Because now we got guys like Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, we got Mr. Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola instead of JoJo Romero. I love JoJo Romero, but we don't have to have guys like that anymore. Where the only entertainment we were getting was guys crushing Red Bull cans on their arms. No, we have real talent. We can go into a playoff series. We have a chance against the Cardinals because they got washed up guys like Adam Wainwright, who looked god-awful the other day. Hey, they don't have a legitimate 2-starter even, or even a 3-starter, whereas we got Zach Wheeler, we got Aaron Nola, Bailey Fulcher, Ranger Suarez, all those guys. We're not going to mention Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson sucks. We all know Kyle Gibson sucks. Never want to see him in a Phillies uniform again, but unfortunately, I think he's going to make the playoff roster. But it's been 11 years, Dutch. I'm excited.
11 years.
Would you say that there's
season, Jordan? You can shove football season up your
No.
Yes, because the America's greatest pastime is back as number 1 in Philly.
We're gonna lose.
America's greatest pastime is winning world wars, Tom.
We're gonna lose against the Cardinals. This is gonna be all hype.
We are on the brink of an economic recession. And do you know what has happened every time the Phillies have won a World Series? A major economic recession. Jimmy Carter caused the first one in 1980. Then it was George W. Bush in 2008. Now Biden's going to cause it. And just in honor of 302 Birds in Delaware.
Wait, so this isn't good.
But the Phillies
no. But that's the Phillies win the World Series, though. So
No, it's still
it matters.
Some people are going to get laid off and not be able to feed their families, but good job, Tom. The Phillies are going to win the World Series.
Hey, Zeb, does it look like that kid in that photo gives a fuck? No, okay? He's got bigger fish to fry, all right? Now give us a World Series.
Cardinals. We're going to be lose the Cardinals. You're going to be all sad, and then it's going to be back to football season. So I'm still sticking on football season, not Red October at all, because I don't really care about the Phillies.
And then Sunday's
Birds
gonna
and
be
team.
Wait. In all seriousness, I am with Jack on that. Like, this is going to be like, I want to see the Phillies win.
No, you don't.
I do. I do. I would like to see a deep playoff series, maybe some baseball in late October. I think it gets fun. Then go to a game maybe as a podcast, maybe with that kid right there. That would be cool. But in all seriousness, no, I do think that they're very undersized in this matchup, and they're probably going to lose. I'm hopeful, but they're going to probably lose.
Let this guy talk. Let this guy talk.
Go ahead.
I'm doing it. These things take a second.
Okay. All right. Listen, have I watched the Phillies game since the first week of the MLB season? Not really. Can I name the entire roster? Not even a little bit. Have I ever been to a Phillies game?
Yes.
Fucking God, no.
We have to change that.
When we win the World Series this year and the Eagles are 8-0 and we are getting drunk on Broad Street at the end of November, do I care?
No.
Definitely not. Go Birds. Go Phils. Why can't we just all...
Yeah!
Thank you. I'm tired of this Philly slander.
We're going to watch that in 4 weeks and be like, man, he called it. He called that shit.
Yeah. And also, guess what? I get
the Mets blew their lead. They had a 10.5 game lead. They couldn't hold the NL East. The Braves took it from them. And then guess what? After getting written off all season, guess who's really taking the East? The Phils. Phils are topping the Mets. They're topping the Braves. They're topping the Yankees. They're topping everyone, Dutch.
It's like Jack has to be the one to move on the 2 segments. At the end of the show, Jack has to be the one to do the outro and to tell Zeb. And you know what I know Jack's about to say? Yo, Tom.
It's time for, you know what, the fantasy football, Dutch.
Tom, how old were you when you first audited your parents?
Audited, like tax audit.
I've never done such a thing.
Don't. You can lie to us. Don't lie to the people.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dalton, the mayor of Delaware.
Thank you, Fantasy Football Network, for this sponsorship. This week's question we got is how many times in his career was Reggie White the NFL sack leader? How many times in his career was Reggie White the NFL sacks leader? We'll give you the answer at the end of the show.
All right, baby. You know what time is for Zep's turn.
Okay. All right.
Week for Dan.
Okay.
You're back.
All right.
We missed you on this.
Week 4. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I love you.
Right. In our top left here for the viewers, the battle of who has the worst facial hair, KJ versus me. KJ won 126-83. I don't really know what the hell I was doing. A lot of my lineup was hurt. You know, it's early to go to that excuse, but we're gonna ride that one out. Yeah, so not great. Good, KJ. Congrats to you, honestly. Phenomenal job.
Who'd you send your bench? And that put up all points.
Somebody was hurt, and that one guy didn't play, and that one other dude pissed off his coach. So yeah, no, some shit happened that I can't control. I'm not the actual coach. I can't put the guy in there.
But no, you could do what someone does in this league. In all fairness, one quick second, the kid that put up 147 and lost.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Good DM then.
We're getting there. In the battle of who's the biggest bitch shit talker, Arrow beat Dan 185-149. I don't really care about these guys. They kind of talked a lot of shit before the season, and then they kind of haven't been great. Actually, they're both 1-3, so at the bottom of the league. So I'm happy they could take each other out. Congrats.
Yeah.
I don't really care about either of them. They're both kind of douchebags. Fuck you, Dan.
Yeah.
In the battle of who's the better ASI waste salesman, Jack beat Dalton 130-113. Way to drop your nuts on the table there, Jack. Dalton,
facts.
Dalton, what do you have to say for yourself? I mean,
I thought I was gonna be 3-1. I mean, I thought a team with a name like the Wilmington Wolves I would be able to beat. But I shit the bed, and I got to give it to Jack. I mean, who was your top scorer, Jack?
Heart and tenacity and brotherhood was the top scorer.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. You know why? Because I got my ass kicked. That's what matters.
Yes, and then finally, in the battle of who still cuddles with their mom at night, Tom beat AJ 152 to 114. Tom, good job.
Thank you.
AJ?
Yeah, it's still backstage. If he has anything to say, maybe the connection got better.
No, please, AJ, stand up for yourself.
Go once.
Hey, yo. First of all, I would like to say that Devonta Smith and Terry McLaurin fucked me. And Jonathan Taylor has been absolute dookie, bro. Dude. My team was projected to win by like 30 points, and everybody just shit the bed.
Oh, we're looking at projections in week 4. All right, you should probably.
Everybody just shit the bed. But Tom, DG's my boy.
He's done.
Thank you.
Good job, AJ. No, seriously, way to really stand tall and show yourself. Anyway, KJ's 4-0. KJ, good job, buddy. Appreciate you being good at fantasy football. Dan and Aaron.
No, that's gonna change. I want to say something real quick about that, Josh. There is a matchup this week. I'm gonna take down the 4-0 team, the last undefeated team in the league. I'm taking down this week. Just saying.
Okay. Oh,
Who do you play?
Old takes Jesus Christ, Tom.
I'm coming for you, McCoy. I play McCoy this week.
So KJ's 4-0. Tommy Boy, Dalton, myself, and Jackie are all 2-2. And then the 2 douchebags who talked the most shit, and Tim wasn't even at the draft. I mean, I think he was drunk when he was drafting and just really went on whatever. They're both 1-3, and I can tell you already, Arrow has given up on this league. He's done. He's 1-3. He's very upset about the whole.
But he won this week.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he'll be right back in it because of that. But he's definitely he's in the dumps. And Dan, I mean, I hate him. I hate Dan. So
I do too.
Huh?
I said I do too.
Why do we let Dan in this league?
That's a great question. We should take him out.
He had a pulse. I think that
was key.
I think that legitimately was it. He had a pulse.
All right, that's
our. You hear that, Dan? And wait. What happened between Tom and Dan this week, Tom?
I still lead him in the overall points because he sucks at fantasy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear you say it. That's all.
Okay.
Dan's your uncle at Thanksgiving who loads up a ton on his plate and then falls asleep halfway through the meal, just with the amount of shit talking he did and just couldn't deliver on anything. So I still love Dan. I know I said a lot of hate.
He probably twisted his ankle at the cousin's uncle's football game.
Good point. During that football game when Tom started auditing his family members,
and then I reported him to the IRS.
Yeah. What are we doing? He had 3 carries.
Okay, you know what? I'll take it first then. He had 2 carries actually.
I'm taking it second.
He had 2 carries actually, not 3. Averaging 9.5 yards per carry though. He could fill a similar role to what LeGarrette Blount filled the Super Bowl year. I am going to say it a million times. I really like the way he ran the ball. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2021, and I remember when he was drafted by the 49ers, a lot of people thought that he had a chance to end up winning that starting job. Injuries happened, whatever. He could still be a good running back number 3, running back number 4. Don't forget what, Nick Sirianni utilized Jordan Howard to do last year. Kind of that role is where I'm taking it. Maybe, LeGarrette Blount, Super Bowl champion is a little bit of an exaggeration, a stud. But in all seriousness, though, I do think that he could fill a pretty similar role to what Howard filled last year. Only 2 carries, but looked pretty solid when he ran the ball north and south downhill.
Legit question. Do we need help running the ball right now?
Kind of. I mean, no disrespect to Sanders. No disrespect to Sanders, but Boston Scott had an injury, and somebody earlier made a good point that we are notoriously a committee. So, one day, maybe 2 days, I would love to see Sanders be a 1,000-yard rusher. Is that probably going to happen? He'll probably cap off, I would bet, at 700, 800 yards just because the way the Philadelphia franchise works. I hope I'm wrong, but...
Yeah.
being a realist too.
But your logic makes no sense, Dalton. It makes no sense.
Well, speak why. Speak why.
Because we have a committee. So Sanders, Kenny G, and Boston Scott's not going to be out that long. And then you're forgetting our best runner is Jalen Hurts, just because he gets more opportunities. So I mean, if somebody gets hurt, yeah, bring this guy up. I'm sure he's fine, but we don't need him taking up another roster spot if we feel confident in our 3 running backs, which we should. And also we have Jalen Hurts, who is running great, and he's choosing when to run very good. That was bad English.
Yeah, so hot take, but and nobody's going to agree with this. I'm about to get flamed for it, but I would rather have this committee of running backs on my team. Miles Sanders, running back number 1, Kenny G number 2, Trey Sermon, third down, power back, whatever, versus Miles Sanders, Kenny G, Boston Scott. I would take Sermon over Scott is what I'm saying.
I actually don't like that. I don't
love Scott, but Kenny G and Scott do the same thing. Is my point.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've very, very similar. If I'm gonna just do a quick little tweak, I'd rather Boston Scott over Kenny G. Boston Scott's a little bit more consistent, and he's a little bit more reliable. I understand why you would want Kenny G for the future, but if I'm looking at this team who's a win it now type of team is what it's starting to pan out to be, I want Boston Scott in that 2 role rather than Kenny G and keep him as my third down power back on / goal line back when I need those fullback yardage type plays where I have Sermon as my 3.
Boston Scott needs to be activated for 2 games. Do you know what 2 games those are, Tom?
The Giants.
The 2 weeks we play the freaking New York Giants. You're exactly right. So, I don't know. Jack, Josh, I mean, you guys don't want this. You guys don't think, who's your power back out of Kenny G and Boston Scott? Are you going to tell me Boston Scott?
Power back. Y'all thinking in reverse, dude. You guys are thinking in reverse.
Boston
That's not
Scott
how it is anymore.
Boston Scott's the power back. He's at 3rd and 3, get some yards. I don't really. Yeah, Trey Sermon had 2 carries that got positive yards, but I don't really think we need him.
Our power back is Jalen Hurts. That dude's got quads out the fucking wazoo.
We need somebody who can push it. You're not going to put your franchise quarterback in a big scrum situation. I understand where you're coming from, where Jalen Hurts is your power back. Yes, can he lift massive and can he push weight? Yes, he can. However, if I am Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and Nick Sirianni, I am not letting my $1 million franchise quarterback do that because we saw what happened with Carson Wentz and his knee. I'm not letting that happen with Jalen Hurts, who's looking like he's going to be my franchise quarterback. I'm not allowing that to happen. So I need a power back who's going to actually move some weight. So that's what I need Trey Sermon for, because I've seen Miles Sanders on a 3rd and 1 situation, and he gets stuffed every time. Boston Scott sometimes can slip real quick because he's so short in between. So maybe he's okay if you use him instead of Gainwell. And Gainwell can't do shit when it comes to having to push weight either.
Do you know who the best 4th and 1 back is of all time?
Who?
William the Fridge Perry?
No, Tom Brady. You know why? Because he's really good at following his fucking center. All right? And he's a bitch. We don't need a power. We don't need a power. If it's 4th and 2.
And Robert Kraft probably held his breath every time Tom Brady had to go 5 inches.
Robert Kraft holds his breath every day. He can't even breathe.
Well, he does go to a massage parlor every day.
Anyways, we're not going to go there. Because things are looking up for us.
Things are looking up for Robert Kraft. Sorry. Anyway, Andre Dillard, this guy, and look at what the Bird's saying. Can you read that, Jack?
Zep called this shit.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bird's giving him credit. He talked about depth in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like I knew what I was talking about there.
That was just a guess, bro.
Oh.
That was just a guess.
How was it a guess?
You just
football.
What does that mean, Tom?
I need to get Dickerson out of there. I hate Dickerson. He literally
what the fuck?
He had so many penalties last week that is uncalled for. That if Mailata was in, that wouldn't have happened, and he cost us some yards.
No, no. Driscoll. Not
Driscoll. My bad. Driscoll. Yeah, no, he was costing us a lot of penalties.
I thought he hated Dickerson too. I was like, no. Damn.
You know,
we saw the baseball guy apparently, and I knew better than Jack.
We saw how much of an asset Mailata is, and I think he is out for this week. So we need to figure something out with Driscoll, because that dude can't really block that well. Gets holding penalties. It's just like he costs us a lot of yards. And I mean, we said beginning of the year, if our offensive line stayed healthy, it would game over. But the fact that we're having all these injuries now, it kind of scares me. And we're putting these guys in that shouldn't be there, causing us penalties. It's going to, in some point, cost us the game if they keep doing that.
Driscoll did a phenomenal job in the situation he was thrown into. Driscoll.
No, he did not, Josh.
He's a third string tackle.
Okay.
How many teams would expect him to do any better as a third string tackle?
Yeah, but it's the mechanics of blocking and not holding. He was first string in college. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not like starting material, but I thought he did a fine job for coming in and filling the game. He's the backup to the backup.
You're capping, bro.
I'm not capping.
Yes,
it was a monsoon. It was wet. He did a great job. I mean, yeah, he's not we're not going to win a Super Bowl with him the left tackle, but I mean, we can win games with him out there.
Especially if Mailata. It sounds like Mailata might just be out a week. Like,
yeah. We didn't almost lose.
We played like shit on Sunday.
We did not play like shit.
Yes, we did.
The Jaguars are a good team, and it was a monsoon.
They're not that good where they put 14 points out.
Yeah, Jack. Did you not see how like wet and monsoon like it was out there? Like, are you not taking that into account? Because I certainly trust.
My point is, since we got Gardner Johnson, he hasn't done shit for us. Blown tackles.
What are you talking about? He played 99% of the snaps. He keeps getting plenty of tackles. He plays great defense. What are you talking about?
He was getting burnt all the time.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
One play he got burnt, and it ended up being an incomplete pass.
Can't be doing that. He's not
as one play.
I honestly expect a lot more out of him coming to the Eagles than what he's doing.
How did we get on Gardner? Wait, how did we get on Gardner Johnson when we're talking about Dillard? Anyway, to Dillard's point, Dillard is
a bust.
A predicament. I want to say a bust, Tom. I want to say a bust. Don't get me wrong. I'm right there with you. But Zeb might be right. Like, maybe Dillard comes in and is a swing guard and tackle this year, and you end up trading him next year. Or maybe one of these guys doesn't sustain and he's gone. Because don't forget, Dillard was like, I think, a top 20 pick. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say top 15, but I'm probably wrong about that. The point is, at the end of the day, there's a lot of raw talent there. It's just, who's going to be able to get him to, come out of that. I think Nick Sirianni is honestly the guy to do that. A lot of these young players respect him. He can take a joke. He's good at giving criticism. I don't know if any of you guys saw he was on the Pat McAfee show today. Did I say it right?
Pat McAfee.
Jesus Christ.
The
Pat McAfee show today. And
Sirianni was coming on.
Saying McAfee?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Dyslexia, man. It's a real trip.
That's not, no.
McAfee.
Anyway, the point is, this guy came on the show and he was doing an impression of Sirianni, and he had the highlighter on the hat. And he was like, "Hey, coach, what's your favorite cheesesteak?" "Oh, I like Dale Alessandro's," like just doing a Philly accent. It was a good series. Anyway, the point is, Nick Sirianni's a relatable young coach. He's good at getting these guys to come out of their shell, play to their best ability, develop their potential. And I think Dillard, I used to be someone that at the beginning of the season, I was against what Zep was saying. I was like, trade him, get him out of here. But Jack's making a good point about Driscoll. And, Kelsey's going to be gone eventually, too. So somebody's going to have to move at center. You got Juergens at center, hypothetically. You can leave Dickerson at left guard, and then you can leave Mailata at left tackle. But who's going to play that, right guard position? That's the real question. And I think, even though Dillard was drafted to be a left tackle, let him play a little bit of guard. There's that raw talent there.
I'm just going to put it out there that I agreed with Josh when everybody was saying, Dutch, if you remember, you said to trade him to Dallas.
Oh, I did. Yep. I 100% said that. I will say that. Yep.
I thought you were dumb then, and this is the dumbness coming to fruition.
They are fucked at the whole pretty much offensive line position, and it's nice to watch that from afar.
Yes.
But I don't know if Mike McCarthy, though, is the coach that Nick Sirianni is. That's all I'll say.
Oh, I agree with you there. I just think I'd rather have Dillard now than give him to my enemy, which would have filled a hole for my enemy, if that makes sense. That being said, he broke his arm week 1 and had surgery. He can be activated within the next 21 days starting today based off of them opening up his practice window. Oh, so it's looking up for him. I'm not sure if he gets to start this week. I think it depends on how practice goes with his arm and all that. But things definitely are looking up for him. He'll probably play a little bit just because when I saw Samalo's injury in person, I saw it later on TV. I don't think he plays this week at all. I don't think Mailata plays this week at all. I wouldn't mind also seeing Cam Jurgens play a little bit. Probably put Dillard at – I think you had to put Driscoll at tackle because you didn't have Dillard last week. You put Dillard at tackle if Mailata can't go and put Jurgens at guard. And Driscoll fills in wherever. He's kind of like a utility man. Like, he can go wherever. Jurgens, my problem is he doesn't have the size to play a tackle, so he'd have to kind of play that guard center position, you know? Plus, with his athleticism, he'd be a lot better at guard anyway as like a pulling guard.
So it's actually time for a part.
But you did a great job explaining that, Tommy.
You're welcome.
It's time for a part of the show that I've been looking forward to all week. The Cliff Kingsbury debate between these two guys. One of them loves Cliff. One of them hates Cliff.
Joshua loves
Cliff Kingsbury is one of the greatest coaches of all time. He did a lot with Pat Mahomes at Texas Tech, and now he's coaching really well. I mean, they had a really good game against who they played last week, the Panthers. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. I don't think he's a match against Sirianni, but I still think he's a good coach. I'm gonna give him top 10 coaches in the league right now.
Not top 5.
No, top 10. I'm not giving that credit. But yeah, this is gonna be
top 3.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You know what? He's just number 1 all time.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they should rename the Lombardi Trophy the Cliff Kingsbury Trophy.
No, I agree. I think he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. I think he's better than Nick Saban in college, and also what's his face? Andy Reid. I think he's better than Andy Reid.
Josh is here for all the great Kingsbury talk.
Oh, you want to go? Is that you're up?
He's the worst. I hate him. He's absolutely horrible. This is his 4th year in the league. He's 26-1. Yeah, he's been to the playoffs once. He hasn't won a playoff game. He's the most exciting player in the NFL. Like, maybe not the most. He's a top 5 exciting player in the NFL. In Kyler, like, very exciting. And their games suck, like, to watch. Like, their games are horrible.
Last week's game wasn't.
Oh, really? That was a fun game.
Yeah.
What was fun about it?
He was throwing dots. He was getting hype on the sideline.
Yeah, it was sick. It was so exciting, right? They just come back in the 4th quarter. Cliff Kingsbury can't coach. I hate him. He never has any idea what the fuck he's doing. Kyler hates him. You can tell on the sidelines, like, because they had that whole preseason thing where Kyler, like, was calling plays because Cliff Kingsbury was like, see how hard it is? Like, how would you feel if, like, your boss came up to you and was like, you do my job, see how hard it is? Motherfucker, I'm not the boss. You are. Cliff Kingsbury is horrible. The only reason he got hired was because he coached Pat Mahomes in college, and then Pat Mahomes was really good in the NFL.
Because of Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, you're right. He was really good because of Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury, how many times did Texas Tech make the college football playoffs with Pat Mahomes there?
That doesn't really matter.
Oh, that doesn't matter?
Because if you're saying that judges a team in the college how good they are, then you can say that argue about the Cowboys are better than the Eagles because they have more Super Bowls.
No,
because it's a better team if they're in the playoffs more, and the fact that the Cowboys have more rings than us, they're better than us, right?
Well, the Cowboys are a better franchise than us as a whole. Yes, like just based on their history.
Your logic is
what I'm saying is, what did Cliff Kingsbury do as a college head coach? No, please tell me.
He obviously did something good because he's the head coach in the NFL right now.
And he's doing a fucking terrible job at it because he has a phenomenal roster and they've been in the playoffs once.
I think he's a good coach.
And he has his record is 500 after 4 seasons.
I think he's a good coach.
He's not a good coach. If he was a good coach, his offense and his defense would be good.
They are.
They're not good. They would be
Tyler
good
Murray,
college, right? You have to coach
James Conner.
James Conner hasn't done
Chase Edmonds when he was on the Cardinals.
Chase Edmonds, no.
Yes.
Stop.
Okay. All right.
And even
Bro, you got to give my guy Cliff some credit, okay? We pledged together, all right? Cliff is the fucking man, okay? I can't tell you how many nights I stayed up with Cliff playing Madden, and that was where he learned everything that he knows that's made him into the coach he is today. He's a good coach. 26-1, Josh? You got a problem with that? That's balance, brother. He practices yoga. He's laid back. He's chill. That's what we practice, man. Relax. It's all good, okay? He's going to bounce back this year. Kyler is him. He is him. The Cardinals are going to be in the Super Bowl this year. The Eagles can go fuck themselves because I'm rocking out with Cliff. And you know what? We're going to beat the Birds this week because we're the better Birds, all right? Cliff's my guy. Fuck y'all for hating on him. Bitches.
Like Saturday Night Live now. Just really awful. But good job, Don. That was funny.
Dutch.
I just don't like
Dutch.
Why do you like him?
Because I went to school with him, and he's cool.
Not you, Frat Dalton. Don't talk to me.
He's laid back.
I just like him as a coach. I think what he's done at that franchise at the Cardinals, he's done a really good job.
He's done a good job.
Yeah.
Going to the playoffs once.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dutch, I think we also got to talk about another elephant in the room, I should say. The Eagles have sucked when they've gone to Arizona the last few times, like 2010. I think the last time they won, from what I was seeing, was 2000. Was the last time they won a game in Arizona. Yeah.
The Cardinals fucking own us. You're right.
The Cardinals and the
EDP gets PTSD about the Cardinals. They are our fucking PTSD.
So this is what I have to propose to you, Dutch. The Phillies ended an 11-year drought this week. Is it time we end a 22-year drought in Arizona this week? They both play the Cardinals. We hate the Cardinals. We're not even going to say that awesome Delco school because KJ, everything in Delco is better than Monco. I just had to slip that in there. I'm sorry. We're not even going to say that one school. It's just O'Hara this week because we hate anything Cardinal.
Tom, you make me want to pull off my pocket calculator and ride into battle with you.
I'm glad. I'll bring my 10-key pocket protector too.
Dude, fuck you for hating on the Cardinals. You're a bitch, bro. You don't even fucking understand, okay? Cliff's gonna fuck you. Cliff is gonna fuck you.
The Cardinals are a good team, and we could easily lose to them this week.
Yes, they are a good team.
We probably are going to lose this week because we're going to come in with a high horse. It's an away game, and they have don't they have what's his name still?
Yes,
on their on their defense. What's their name of the player? No, he's washed up. No, Chandler Jones left, right? Right? He's
gone. He plays for the Chiefs now, I think.
What the?
No, the Raiders. You're right. The Raiders. Anyway, yeah, we actually might win this game now. Never mind. That changed my mind. I love J.J. Watt, but he was having some trouble with his heart. We actually might win this game. This might be the end of the drought.
I just say
two droughts come to an end.
Yeah, I think he's 1-0 against us. It was the year we sucked.
Score predictions going around.
Yeah,
Josh.
When we lost,
winning, Cliff Kingsbury can go fuck himself. That's gonna be.
What's your score? 48-0.
24-21 Eagles.
Oh, you got a close game.
I think there's gonna be a lot of scoring in this game, Loki. I think it's gonna be.
I think there's gonna be a lot of scoring.
36-31.
Eagles.
Yes. Sorry.
Just making sure.
I hate that guy.
He owns his franchise. He owns the franchise.
He's 1-0 against us.
Yep.
I honestly think, in my opinion, I think that we think it's going to be a high-scoring game going into it. I think that it's going to have a lot of turnovers. So I think that it could be high-scoring, I want to say. I do hear you on that. I just think that it's not going to be high-scoring because of the QBs. I think that they're both going to – I think that there will be 3 interceptions between these two quarterbacks is what I'll say. I'm hoping that 2 of them are coming from Murray.
Slay's back.
And Slay's back too? Okay, cool.
Our defensive Batman.
Well, there you go. So I think that the Eagles will win this game. I don't want to say it's going to be high 30s, even though I would love to see that for entertainment purposes because both these QBs are really fun to watch. Give me like 31-24 Eagles. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Dutch, the drought ends this week. And you know what I say? It's been 22 years since the Eagles won in Arizona.
You're going to fucking stomp on a Cardinal this weekend.
It's stomp on a Cardinal weekend. Birds scored 22. Our defense has been unstoppable and great. And because the Phillies, it took them 11 years. It's going to be 22-11 Birds. Because it is the week of droughts ending.
Yay.
So this was actually Jack's idea, which I love this idea. You want to tell him about it, Jack? Oh, wait. Before we do it.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dorden, the mayor of Delaware.
It's the time that all been waiting for. The answer to this trivia question. Again, Fantasy Football Network, appreciate you sponsoring this. The question again was, how many times in his career was Reggie White the NFL sacks leader? Again, how many times in Reggie White's career was he the NFL sacks leader? And the answer is 2 times. 2 times.
Well, there you go.
That's it.
But what were your thoughts with this topic? I love this idea. Tell them about it. Where's your idea come from with this?
Yeah, I was in the kitchen and I was walking around pensing, and I was like, came into the room where Zepp was. I'm like, Zepp, you know what? One thing, like, you know, besides the Super Bowl win, everyone's favorite memory. What was your Eagles' favorite memory that you've been alive and you've seen? And kind of from there, just kind of blossomed in a beautiful flower. And now it's going to be on here. And my answer, I'm going to have to go with Miracles in the Meadowland. I was at my grandma's house probably the year or 2 before she passed away. We were all together, and I was on the edge of my seat because the Eagles weren't doing that well the whole game. And then the fact that they punted it with what? I don't know, 45. I don't know how much time was left.
It's like 7 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, and we bobbled the punt, and then D-Jack said,
"It's muffed.
Fuck y'all Giants. I'm taking this shit back." And he just diced and sliced the whole defensive punt, and he did a nice little, you know, it was crazy. And everyone in the house was insanely hype about it, and it was one of my most favorite memories.
I thought you were a Dolphins fan at that age.
No.
Oh, I forgot about the Dolphins fandom.
Still am.
Josh?
Well, I think we all know what my favorite Eagles memory is. It's definitely the day that we traded LaShawn McCoy for Kiko Alonso.
I think I know yours, and it's on this graphic.
I'm kidding. No, mine is absolutely the Lions game in the snowstorm, the Snow Bowl, where
that's a good one.
Deep in the fourth quarter, running out the clock, Nick Foles finds an open who else? Brent Selleck. He catches the ball, and he just does this sick-ass slide into the snow. Clock's still running. They start doing snow angels. It was sick. It was like a snow globe game. It was just awesome. The vibes were immaculate. It was awesome. And that's the year that we went to the playoffs with Chip Kelly. So that game like actually meant something going forward.
Yeah, I remember that. That was one of the few games with Chip Kelly that actually meant something moving forward.
Tom McCoy changes spikes at halftime. It was awesome.
This is tough. I think, like, for me, I did want to say Miracle in the Meadowlands because that's the first one that comes to mind. Like, I do agree with Jack's answer. The 2018 NFC Championship is up there for me. The problem is, and I know most of the guys on this show remember, I was sick. So I wasn't able to enjoy it the same way. I had mono, tonsillitis, and an ear infection at once. So
you had COVID in 2018, man.
Yeah, I had COVID like before COVID existed. I brought COVID to the U.S.
You were patient 0.
I was patient -1, bitch. Anyway, Vic and D-Jax at FedEx Field will probably always be one of my favorites. I'll never forget. I was living in Maryland at the time with my dad. I'll never forget. I walked down in the basement to watch the Eagles and Washington game. Everybody has a story with theirs. That's the best part. And I remember the first thing that we saw when we turned on the TV, first fucking play, Andy Reid. If you look at interviews now, he's like, yeah, we called that. He's like, Vic wanted to like ball it out to Deshaun first play. And we were like, okay, just chucks it downfield. Deshaun burns him for like something like an 80, 75-yard touchdown. And they just slaughtered back then the Redskins at home. And that's probably my fondest memory as an Eagles fan. There's a lot of them, but that one is probably one of my favorites. Just kind of when it all hit for me. My favorite, too, is 40-46. That's a good one. If any of you guys remember that, we were very young. I was at that. That was my first Eagles-Cowboys game. And I'll never forget a fucking Cowboys player gets injured right on the fucking, Eagle, like, logo. And this guy stands up behind me. He goes, get that shit off my lawn. And my dad's like, welcome to your first Eagles game. And nothing more Philadelphia than that, so.
Dutch. I don't think I'll ever forget that day. That 2018 NFC Championship game. Leading up to that day, Dutch, if you remember, we had Vikings fans invade our city. Like they were in front of the Rocky statue, the art museum steps, and they were trying
basically you should piss on your front door.
Skull. And we, you know what we did to them? We went, Foles. All day long. Foles with the flea flicker. Foles with the 50-yard dime. Foles here. Foles there. So it became Foles. Yeah, exactly. But no, that day.
Like what my grandma looked like doing the YMCA at a wedding.
From beginning to end, Dutch, that day was amazing. I started that day with our good friend B. Mike. I went down with him and like his aunt, and because she was with NBC 10 and Telemundo during marketing for the Eagles and like the Tour to Victory bus and all that. Like we got to do like a bunch of that stuff, and we got like to go into Xfinity Live early before anyone was even in there. Like we got to do all sorts of stuff. Then I met up with you guys, did some tailgating, and then because of circumstances beyond that I won't share here, I got to go in the game with you guys. Like that was like, and if I will never forget hearing that. We are literally walking up from Jetro, and you can hear that stadium from a block or two away. Like it was so loud.
Yes, we could.
It was so loud. That is the loudest I've ever heard a stadium in person. And
Link was rocking.
And it never got quiet from beginning to end. And the favorite part of it all, every time we scored a touchdown, because of those horrible, ugly Vikings fans, was Foles, hoisting up that trophy, Dutch.
I heard dreams and nightmares about 60 times that day.
I think I did too. It was beautiful. We were not losing that game.
Nice.
And when Corey Clement and all the other running backs were dancing in the end zone to that song pregame, we weren't losing.
Yeah, that whole season, there's so many memories in that game. Even the first game when Elliott had the long ass field goal. So many memories. But yeah, that's all we got for you tonight, guys. What'd you say, Josh? Sorry.
That was week 3.
Oh, I thought that was week 1 of that season.
No, that was week 3 against the Giants. Week 1 was against the Redskins, and then week 2 was the loss against the Chiefs.
You're right. You're right. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fuck you then. Fuck you, bitch. Anyway, Jack, you need to straighten Josh out over there for me, would you?
I have 2 things for Zep. Zep, first off, Cliff Kingsbury is a king. Actually, before I go to the second thing, I want to go to Tom. Tom, it's football season. It's not Red October, so we're gonna lose.
Red October.
No, it's not. And the third thing I want to say is, hey Zep,
Don't fuck yourself.
It's an outro, not an intro. Hit that outro.